Welcome to Power of Becoming. This is for the ones rebuilding themselves in silence. In the next few minutes, I'll give you one idea that can shift your entire life. Let's begin. Let's be honest in a way that most people avoid. No one is coming to save you. No cavalry. No perfect mentor appearing at your door. No magical day where life suddenly gets easy and you finally feel ready. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. If you're waiting for permission, consider it granted. The world doesn't pause because you're scared. Time does not negotiate. And your potential doesn't care about your excuses. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Somewhere along the way, many of us learn to live like we're in the middle of a movie. We act as if a turning point is guaranteed. As if at some moment the music will swell, the clouds will part, and the solution will arrive. But real life isn't written that way. Real life is quieter and harder and more honest. The truth is that if you don't decide to rescue your own dreams, they will sit there like unopened letters until they fade into regret. Think about how much time gets stolen by someday. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll take my mental health seriously. Someday I'll learn that skill. Someday I'll stop living like this. Someday is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary because it feels like hope. But it's often disguised procrastination. Someday keeps you comfortable today while robbing you tomorrow. The hardest part is that nobody else can feel the urgency inside your chest. Nobody else can feel how heavy your unrealized life is. People might love you deeply, but they still cannot take your steps for you. They can't wake up at dawn and do your work. They can't sit in your discomfort while you learn. They can't make the phone call you're avoiding. They can't face your fears on your behalf, even if they want to. And here's what happens when you don't accept that truth. You start handing your power away. Slowly, politely, without noticing. You start blaming. You start waiting. You start bargaining with the universe. You start telling yourself stories about why you can't. You say things like, once I have more time, once my family understands, once the economy is better, once someone notices my talent, once I feel more confident. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. The feeling you're waiting for is on the other side of the work you're refusing to do. No one is coming to save you because no one can. Not really. Not in the way you need. The rescue you want isn't external. It's internal. It's not a person showing up. It's a version of you showing up. A version of you that you haven't met yet because you haven't done what it takes to become them. That version of you is not mythical. They're not some superhuman fantasy. They are built from small decisions, repeated. They are created when you do the hard thing while no one is watching. They are forged when you keep going, even when it's boring. When you keep showing up even when you don't get applause. When you fail and you learn and you adjust instead of quitting. That's where your rescue lives. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards execution. You can want a different life with all your heart. But wanting is not the same as becoming. Dreams are cheap until they cost you something. Until you pay for them in discipline, in humility, in time, in sweat, in patience, in courage. The price is always real. Maybe you've already felt this. That sharp moment where you realized you're tired of your own patterns, tired of repeating the same year over and over, tired of saying, I'm gonna, and then not doing it. Maybe you've had nights where you stared at the ceiling thinking, I can't keep living like this. If you felt that, good. That's your inner self pulling the alarm. That's not weakness. That's your fire trying to find oxygen. But here's the trap people fall into next. They mistake clarity for change. They think that realizing the truth is enough, like a light bulb moment will do the work for them. Clarity is a start, but it's not the finish. You still have to move. You still have to act. You still have to face the reality that your life doesn't shift because you understand it. It shifts because you choose differently, consistently. Let's talk about responsibility for a second. Not the boring, guilt-heavy kind. The empowering kind. Responsibility means your life is yours. It means you're not trapped by your past or by other people's opinions. It means you have agency. It means you can build something better. The moment you take responsibility isn't the moment you blame yourself for everything. It's the moment you stop waiting for permission to change what you can change. And yes, some things aren't your fault. Some people were dealt a brutal hand. Some grew up without safety. Some had trauma, discrimination, grief, illness, poverty, betrayal. None of that is your fault, but it is still your life. If you don't own it now, who will? The world isn't fair. But you don't get to opt out of being the author of your story just because the first chapters were hard. You can honor your pain without building a house inside it. If you need proof that no one is coming, look around. Look at how many people have stayed stuck waiting for a savior, waiting for someone to notice, waiting for a partner to fix their loneliness, waiting for a boss to recognize their worth, waiting for a friend to motivate them, waiting for the perfect plan to fall out of the sky, waiting for motivation to show up like a delivery, waiting, waiting, waiting. And what did it get them? Another year, another decade, another maybe next time, another regret. The world is full of people living a life they never chose because they never decided. They floated, they drifted, they let fear make their choices, they let convenience write their routine. They let other people's expectations shape their identity. That's what happens when you don't take the wheel. Life still moves. It just moves without you directing it. So what does it mean to start today? It doesn't mean making a perfect plan. It doesn't mean transforming overnight. It doesn't mean pretending you're not scared. Starting today means you take a step, one step, a real one. Not a daydream step, not a step you talk about, a step you do. Something measurable, something you can point to and say, I moved. Because motion breaks paralysis. Action breaks anxiety. Doing something, even clumsily, rewires your belief about who you are. Starting today means you stop negotiating with your future. Your future is not a storage unit for your unused courage. Your future is shaped by what you do in the next hour, the next day, the next week. If you keep handing your future the scraps of your energy, don't be shocked when your future looks like a leftover version of your present. Starting today means you stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Nobody is ready. People become ready by beginning. Every athlete breathes fear before the race. Every speaker feels nervous before the stage. Every entrepreneur walks into uncertainty before the first client. Every person who ever did something meaningful did it before they felt ready. If you wait for readiness, you will wait forever. Starting today means you stop making your mood responsible for your progress. Your mood is a passenger, not a driver. Some days you'll feel energetic. Some days you'll feel exhausted. Some days you'll feel inspired. Some days you'll feel numb. If your progress depends on your mood, you're giving something unstable power over something sacred. Discipline is what keeps you moving when inspiration disappears, and inspiration will disappear. That's normal. That's life. Keep going anyway. Starting today means you accept that discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you're doing something new. Your brain is wired to protect you, not to make you extraordinary. It will whisper safe and easy, and later, it will throw doubts at you like smoke bombs. Your job is to keep walking through the smoke. You don't need the entire staircase. You need one step, then another, then another. The staircase reveals itself to people who climb, not people who stare. Let's talk about fear, because fear is often the real reason we wait for rescue. Fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of being judged, fear of success, even. Success scares people because it changes your identity. It changes your relationships. It forces you to be seen. Fear is normal, but obedience to fear is optional. Here's a helpful truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every skill you admire was purchased through mistakes. Every confident person you look up to has been embarrassed more times than you know. Every master was once a beginner who looked clueless. The only people who avoid failure are people who avoid trying. And that's a bigger failure because it lasts forever. When you wait for someone to save you, you're often waiting to be spared from failure. You're waiting to be given a path where you don't have to risk looking bad. But that path doesn't exist. Growth demands risk. Dignity demands effort. A meaningful life demands that you be willing to be terrible at something before you're good at it. So, if you can't avoid fear, what do? You make fear ride in the back seat. You don't let it drive. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is doing the thing with your knees shaking. Another reason we wait is because we romanticize transformation. We think change should feel like a movie montage. Breakthroughs. Instant results. We think if it doesn't feel dramatic, it's not real. But real transformation is mostly quiet. It's waking up and doing the thing again. And again. It's choosing water instead of soda. It's saying no to distractions. It's studying for 30 minutes even when you'd rather scroll. It's writing one page, making one call, doing one workout, having one hard conversation, cleaning up one corner of your messy room. Small actions don't look heroic, but they build heroes. The compound effect is a law of life. Tiny habits, repeated daily, become destiny. Small neglects, repeated daily, become disasters. You are not one decision away from a different life. You are 100 decisions away. And that's good news, because it means you can start small without waiting for perfection. Maybe you're thinking, but I've tried before. Good. That means you're not new to the fight. It means you have evidence that you can begin. The fact that you've fallen off before doesn't mean you're incapable. It means you're human. The only way to lose is to stop returning to the path. You don't need a flawless track record to move forward. You need a comeback mentality. You need the ability to say, yeah, I messed up. I paused. I got lost. I got tired. But I'm here again. The people who win aren't the people who never struggle. They're the people who refuse to stay down. Another lie that keeps people waiting is the idea that they need to be fixed before they can start. Like they need to resolve every insecurity, every trauma, every bad habit, every flaw, before they deserve to change. But healing often happens through movement, through participation, through living. You don't wait until you're perfect to begin. You begin so you can grow. Starting now is not disrespect to your past self. It's a gift to your future self. The future you is begging you not to wait, not to postpone courage, not to postpone health, not to postpone peace, not to postpone the things that make life feel alive. The future you is tired of inheriting your delays. Think about that future you for a second. Imagine meeting them 5 years from now. What do you want to tell them? Sorry, I stayed scared? Sorry, I kept waiting for help? Or do you want to say, I started, even when it was hard. I showed up even when I was tired. I bet on you before I knew how it would turn out. Your future is not built by luck, it's built by leverage. The leverage is your habits, your mindset, your environment, your discipline. You might not control every event, but you control your effort. You control your preparation. You control your consistency. And consistency beats intensity every time. Let's ground this in real life. If you want a stronger body, no one can lift the weights for you. They can spot you. They can cheer you on. But you have to push. If you want a better career, no one can learn the skills for you. They can teach you. They can mentor you. But you have to practice. If you want peace in your mind, no one can do your inner work for you. They can support you. But you have to face yourself. It's you. It has always been you. This is not a lonely truth. It's a liberating one. Because if no one is coming to save you, then you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to keep living on standby. You don't have to rehearse your life in your mind instead of living it. You don't have to keep asking, what if? You get to ask, what now? Now is where your power is. Not yesterday. Yesterday is a classroom, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Now is where you can act. Now is where you can choose. Now is where you can become. And if you feel overwhelmed by all the things you need to change, good. That means you care. But don't let big dreams paralyze you. Break them down. Shrink the task until it's doable. If the goal feels too heavy, you don't throw away the goal. You make the first step smaller. If you want to write a book, you don't start by writing a book. You start by writing one paragraph. If you want to run a marathon, you don't start by running a marathon. You start by walking around the block. If you want to get your finances right, you don't start by becoming a billionaire. You start by tracking your spending for a week. If you want to mend a relationship, you don't start by fixing 10 years of pain in one conversation. You start by telling the truth kindly once. First steps are humble, but they are holy. There will be days when starting feels like nothing is happening. You will do the workout and still feel out of shape. You will study and still feel behind. You will apply and still get rejected. You will practice and still sound bad. That's the middle. That's the part people don't post. That's the part where dreams are tested. And you have to learn to love that part. Because that's where you prove to yourself you're serious. Your results are delayed, not denied. But only if you keep going. If you quit, delay becomes defeat. The distance between who you are and who you want to be is simply the work you haven't done yet. Let's face another brutal truth. Most people won't understand your change. Some will doubt you. Some will tease you. Some will feel threatened by your growth. That's part of the price. If you're waiting for universal support, you're waiting for something you don't need. Support is a bonus, not a prerequisite. You don't need everyone to clap for you to be proud of yourself. You need your own respect. And self-respect comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and you show up, trust grows. This is why starting today matters. Because the real prize isn't the outcome. It's becoming someone you can rely on. Let's talk about identity. Change sticks when it becomes who you are, not just what you do. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your systems are built on identity. So instead of saying, "I'm trying to be healthy," you say, "I'm someone who takes care of my body." Instead of saying, "I'm trying to write," you say, "I'm a writer," and writers write. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," you say, "I'm someone who shows up." Your actions follow your identity. When identity shifts, habits follow. But identity doesn't shift through affirmations alone, not through wishful thinking. It shifts through evidence. The tiniest evidence matters. One workout, one page, one early morning, one honest conversation. Evidence is how you build belief. Belief is how you build momentum. Momentum is the greatest ally you will ever have. When you start moving, life starts moving with you. Opportunities show up for people who are already in motion. Not because the universe is magical, but because motion changes you. It sharpens you. It makes you visible. It makes you more capable of recognizing and seizing chances. You don't find the path by waiting. You find it by walking. You might not know exactly where you're going. That's okay. Clarity is overrated at the beginning. A lot of clarity comes from experience. The first time you try something, you won't have a perfect map, but you'll have feedback. You'll learn what works. You'll learn what doesn't. You'll learn what you like. You'll learn what you're good at. You'll learn what needs improving. All of that comes from doing, not from overthinking. Overthinking is often disguised fear. You call it planning. You call it researching. You call it getting ready. But deep down, it's avoidance. You don't need to know everything. You need to do the next thing. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. You are not behind. You are at the start of your next chapter. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 38 or 68. It doesn't matter how many days you wasted. The only thing that matters is that you're alive right now. Right now you can pivot. Right now you can choose differently. Right now you can start building the life you want to recognize later. Another shift. You don't need a giant burst of motivation. You need a small commitment you keep. Motivation is unreliable. Commitment is a decision. A decision doesn't ask your feelings for a vote. A decision becomes a structure. You make it once, and then you honor it daily. You will still have hard days. You will still have doubts. You will still have moments where you want to quit. But quitting is not a personality trait. It is a moment. And moments pass. If you can survive the moment without obeying it, you win. You're not weak for struggling. You're strong for staying in the arena. Let's talk about the arena. The arena is where your real life happens. Not in your head, not in your fantasies, not in the version of you who always starts tomorrow. The arena is the messy reality of trying. The awkward first attempts, The imperfect routines, the public mistakes, the private setbacks. It's where you learn. It's where you earn your confidence. The people who look fearless aren't fearless. They're just more familiar with the arena. They've been there longer. They've gotten hit more. They've seen that they can get back up. You can be that person too. The only difference is time in the arena. Time in the arena requires starting today. Now, let's be practical. What does starting today look like for you? It looks like picking one thing you keep avoiding and doing a small version of it. It looks like setting a timer for 20 minutes and working without negotiating. It looks like moving your body for 10 minutes, even if you can't do a full workout. It looks like drinking water right now. It looks like opening the document. It looks like making the call. It looks like unsubscribing from the thing that drains you. It looks like going to bed earlier. It looks like forgiving someone so you stop carrying poison. It looks like asking for help from a professional if you need it. It looks like telling someone you trust the truth you've kept hidden. Tiny, real actions. Starting today also looks like removing friction. If you want to read more, put the book where you can see it. If you want to stop scrolling, delete the app. If you want to eat better, prep something healthy in advance. If you want to wake up earlier, place your alarm across the room. Don't rely on willpower alone. Willpower is not a strategy. It's a battery. It drains. Design your environment to support your goals. Also, choose your circles wisely. If you stay surrounded by people who normalize stagnation, you'll start calling it just life. But if you're around people who normalize growth, you'll start rising. You don't need a massive network. You need a few people or voices that remind you who you're becoming. If your environment doesn't support your change, you'll need stronger boundaries. 'Cause here's the thing, you can't build a new life with old habits and old excuses. Something has to change, not all at once, but something. There will be times when your mind tries to pull you backwards. It will show you your past failures like a highlight reel. It will say, "See? You always quit. You're not that kind of person. You don't have what it takes." That's your old identity fighting for survival. Don't argue with it. Outwork it. Evidence beats doubt. Every day you show up, you rewrite the script. Your brain will catch up later. Your confidence will catch up later. Your results will catch up later. But first, you move. And let's not ignore the emotional side. Sometimes we wait for saving because we're tired. Not lazy. Tired. Life has been heavy. You've carried things silently. Maybe you've been in survival mode. If that's you, I see you. But even in survival, you still have choices. Maybe your start today isn't a huge project. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's therapy. Maybe it's asking someone for support. Maybe it's creating stability step by step. Starting today doesn't mean doing the maximum. It means doing what moves you forward. Forward might be gentle, forward might be slow, but forward is still forward. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Don't use other people's timelines to punish yourself. Your timeline is yours, but you do owe yourself movement. You do owe yourself effort. Not perfection, effort. Now, let's zoom out. Think about how short life is, not in a depressing way, in a clarifying way. We get a certain number of mornings, a certain number of chances, a certain number of conversations, a certain number of trips around the sun. Every day you postpone your life, you miss a piece of it. Every day you avoid your calling, You delay the joy and meaning that come with it. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be perfect. But you do need to be alive in your own life. You need to feel like you are steering it. Like you are honoring the gift of being here. Like your days belong to you, not to fear. One day, you will look back. You will either thank yourself for starting, or you will wish you had. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret is a slow burn that lasts. Choose your pain wisely. And if you're thinking, I don't know if I can, let me remind you, you don't have to know. You have to try. Trying is how you find out. Courage is not certainty. Courage is willingness. You are more capable than your current comfort zone allows you to see, but you will never discover that from inside the comfort zone. Your comfort zone is not comfortable when it becomes a cage. So, here's your moment. This is the part where you stop listening like it's just a video. This is the part where it becomes your life. Don't click away and forget. Don't nod and scroll. Literally one. Right after this. Don't wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is a myth invented by fear. There is only now. Start with honesty. Tell yourself what you really want. Start with ownership. Admit where you've been delaying. Start with action. Make a move. And after you make that move, make another tomorrow, and another the day after. And when you slip, return. And when you doubt, keep going. And when you feel alone, remember that millions of people who changed their lives began exactly where you are, with a decision in a messy moment. You are not waiting for rescue. You are becoming it. No one is coming to save you, which means you get to save yourself, not someday, today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.